Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am GM Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video I'm going to be talking about an experience that I had at the Philadelphia Area Game Expo second year. This was not this past weekend, but the weekend prior to. And I had the opportunity to play in a game being run by Nerdarchy Ted. So if you're not familiar, Nerdarchy is a big YouTube channel for gaming, tabletop role-playing gaming, primarily 5th edition, but they do have their own projects out there, and Zoom Mafia is one of them. So when I was making up my schedule and looking to see, well, what games do I really want to check out and what people did I want to meet, this one came up very quickly in a great time slot for me, and I was like, all right, I definitely want to jump in on this and have an opportunity to play this game. So Zoo Mafia is a game where you are playing zoo animals, and at night you are becoming more personified, and you're becoming more like humans, not in appearance or anything like that, but you're in just your activities. And it is a mafia because you are all criminals. And one of the key components of the game is not to become discovered doing human things. And I'll get more into detail with that, how that works in the system. What I really liked about this game was that, and just before even beginning, just in the concept of it, I play many games that are, serious. And so here's an opportunity, really, since Steve Jackson's tune, here's an opportunity to play something that is a bit whimsical, and you could just have a lot of fun with it. You don't have to take it too seriously, and so I like that about this. I think that it's a game that is very friendly to play with younger players as well. And you should all make room, whether you're an adult playing amongst other adults or you are actually playing games with kids. You should make room in your experience, to play things that are just a little bit under your age, or certainly something a little bit more challenging and over your age as well. And just my opinion on that. So anyway, had a great time playing this game. Really interesting mechanics, and let me jump right into that. Now, one of the first things I want to bring up is that there's a dice mechanic system, and Ted gave us each a set of 9 die. You're really only playing with 3 at a time, and then the other 3 you're using as counters on your character sheet that will mark various things off. Now, the red is a bad die, a negative die. The gold is the neutral die, and the green is the good die. So it's basically -1. Excuse me. Sorry, still getting over the flu. -1, neutral, and then +1. Now, when you're rolling to see if you've accomplished something, you're rolling these 2, all right, and this is the numbers you're going to count and add up. And then the third die is just to see what you happen to roll. Now, the 6 facing on every die, regardless of color, is a boss die, and that will have an impact as well. So let me go to the rules and I'll start talking about it. So you can get this, the quick start rules on DriveThruRPG for free, and you can check it out. Now, the quick start rules are less than what we had at the table there. When I noticed it, I looked through the quick start rules, which I just got yesterday, and I noticed that not all of the classes were in the quick start rules. So when this does launch, you're going to see a lot more different choices than what you have here. So Zoo Mafia, Go wild, do crime, and don't let the humans catch you. That's the whole premise of this. Writing and game mechanics by the Nerdarchy team, and layout, and so on and so forth. So you got everything here. What is Zoo Mafia? It is a role-playing game about being a zoo animal, committing crimes, and not letting the humans catch you. That you are more than just zoo animals. All but one of the players form a gang called a mob. The one other player takes on the role of zookeeper. The mob will take on jobs and commit these crimes to increase their standing in the organized crime world, while the zookeeper facilitates everything. Visit zoomafiarpg.com to learn more. So 3 easily distinguishable 6-sided die, paper, pencils, and your imagination is all that you need. So getting started, I'm not going to go through and hit every single one of these points here. I am going to jump to the mechanics. Now, you get to choose, obviously, your character's name. You get to choose your character's species. They really don't have any impact whatsoever on, on your character mechanically. However, choosing the animals that you're choosing will probably play a big role in the overall character concept that you have for your character. So that will kind of play in along with your role playing. So let's see, we have here the rules. In Zoo Mafia, the zookeeper sets the scene and the players describe what their characters do in each scene. Relatively easy tasks, simple, happen as described by the players. If a task that potential failure faces opposition or otherwise includes possible complications, then the zookeeper calls for the character to use a specific basic move. There is no turn order like in other games. Players decide what they want their characters to do and announce their intention to the zookeeper. The zookeeper describes the results, including any complications that might arise. The players decide the order in which they do things amongst themselves, and the zookeeper might use a hard move that disrupts this sequence. There are 4 possible outcomes when using basic moves: failure, success with consequence, success, or critical success. Your playbook also lists additional moves you can use instead of basic moves. The rules for each of these are in the playbooks. Failure. Whenever you try doing didn't work. In addition, the zookeeper can use what is called a hard move against you. Hard moves depends on what is going on in the scene. If you are in combat and are trying to injure someone, you will instead lose health yourself. In most cases, this would be the damage potential of the enemy. Example, you attempt to open a locked door. The zookeeper determines this task falls under commit a caper and calls for this basic move. You roll your dice and your result is a failure. Not only do you fail to open the safe, but now the zookeeper could use a hard move against you called alert. This could mean either a sentry stumbles upon your activities or perhaps an alarm system gets tripped. The zookeeper might also use damage hard move on you because the safe is trapped. Success with consequence. You accomplish what you set out to do, but something else also happens. In a fight, you deal damage, but also take damage. While opening the safe, you unlock it, but also set off an alarm or trap. While trying to protect someone from harm, you succeed, but you take damage instead. A success is quickly a success. Critical success. Not only do you succeed at the task, but you get an extra effect. The effect benefit can be whatever the zookeeper deems reasonable. In a fight, you deal a point of bonus damage. You unlock the safe in half the time. You defend someone from getting hurt and the zookeeper awards you a +1 forward to use or give away to a character you are protecting. Your stats in this game are awareness, which is perception and senses, magnetism, which is your appeal and presence, moxie, which is your grit and willpower, precision, which is your accuracy or focus, sly is your guile or subtlety, and wild is your instinct and physicality. The marker meter. Markers are a currency that allows you to alter the game mechanically and narratively by calling in favors. When you've run out of markers, the humans have caught on to you doing too much people stuff. You'll be removed from the zoo and the game is over for the character. Your character is euthanized, taken away to another zoo, or something else unpleasant. Anytime triples are rolled, the marker meter moves on a failure or success, with the consequence that the marker meter moves down the track by 1 and a complication is introduced into the scene. Players can spend markers for the following effects. Create a success. You can spend a marker to do that. Negate damage. You can do a marker to do that. Wallop, in other words, doing +3 damage, use a marker to do that. And edit the scene. In other words, you can change the whole action of the scene. All right, you can use a marker to do that. Humans catching you do human or non-animal things negatively affects your marker meter. You are seen driving a car or a golf cart, firing a gun, or observed wearing clothes and smoking. Any of these, or whatever the zookeeper deems appropriate, could cause for breaking the cardinal rule of don't let the humans catch you, resulting in a loss of half your markers. So that's a pretty extreme bonus because you only start the game off with 10 markers to begin with. All right, now you can deplete them and then you can regain them back again and so on. But that's kind of where you begin. All right, so bonuses. A forward is either a +1 or a -1 on your next roll. Players convert +1 forwards and a +1 ongoings into damage if they so choose. Zookeepers can convert a -1 forward into extra damage if they choose. Ongoing. +1 or -1 on rolls until the scene is resolved. All right, so that means that until that scene is resolved, if you're stuck with a +1 or a -1, you're going to have that +1 or -1 throughout the entire scene, unless somehow you negate that effect on your character sheet. Hold. You may ask one question that the zookeeper must answer truthfully. Dice mechanics. Whenever the zookeeper calls on a player to make a roll, they roll 3 different d6s. Each die must be easily distinguished from each other. One is the allied die, that's in this case the green. One is a neutral die, the gold, and one is the enemy die, the red. Dice order of operations. Roll ally, neutral, and enemy boss dice. Add ally plus neutral plus stat to get result. Are there doubles between any of the 3 dice rolls? Are there doubles plus any bonus showing? Are the dice showing triples? And then they have your chart here of what each does. Believe it or not, doubles are not generally good. All right, and triples are certainly not good. So what you want to do is you want successes without any complications. And so as we're looking at this chart, we'll look at the top chart first. A 1 to the 6 is a failure. You get a +1 XP. Failure with doubles, you'll get a +1 XP and get a -1 forward, which means that for the rest of the scene, you'll be rolling with -1. rolling doubles and an ally boss, all right, that means that you will fail and get 2 XP. All right, a 7 to 9 is a success with consequence. So success with consequence gets a -1 forward, and you can give a +1 forward to another player in your group. Success with consequence gets a -1 forward. This is if you roll doubles with an ally. You get -1 forward and give 2 +1 favors to 2 allies. A 10 or above is a success. You get a +1 forward if you roll doubles. You get a gives 2 +1 forwards. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. You gain success and you gain a marker if you roll doubles and an ally boss. Remember, the ally boss is the green die, the neutral boss is the yellow die, and the red boss is the enemy die. So you want to roll, if you want to roll any bosses, you want to roll those bosses on your ally die. And I'm not going to go through the next chart because it basically just keeps on talking about the same information. I'm not quite sure, looking at this, doubles with enemy bosses. So up top it's with allies, and down at the bottom it's with enemy bosses and neutral bosses. Your basic moves. So BOP is a wrestling, boxing, martial arts. Break it up, and so on. There's a bunch of basic moves that are here, and then there are the Zookeeper hard moves. All right, and these are alert, damage, disarm, drop weapons, jammed guns, distances, adjacent, close, short, medium, and long. We have a very, very simple weapons chart here. The amount of damage done, the number of targets it could impact, and there is some burst damage that you can have, like machine guns, Molotov cocktails, and so on. Recovering health. Rest, a decent night's rest in your enclosure. First aid. So each of these allows you, when your health meter falls between 10 and 6, you recover 1 hit point from the following activities. And then you could do any of these activities to gain a point back. Playbooks and advancement. A characters gain XP. As characters gain XP, players can use this for advancement. In Zoo Mafia RPG, characters gain 1 or more XP whenever a roll of the dice results in a failure. In addition, the Zookeeper awards XP for things like successfully completing a job, and at the end of each session as a reward for role-playing or any other time they feel is appropriate. Advancement takes one of 2 forms, each of which costs 5 XP. Whenever a character accumulates 5 XP, the character can spend it at any time for one of the following: increase a stat by +1 or learn a new move. What does a button do? All right, so these are the different character classes. And again, the full version, which I'm pretty sure we were playing at the convention, has much more than this. So you have the button, which is basically a killer. You have a grifter, understands how people work. They build networks. They take on different identities. You have a lookout. All right, it's kind of like a scout. So they can see things. They have good eyes and ears, and they can tell what's coming along. You have a safe cracker. That's also in there as well. And here you have the character sheet. So here is the button. Now you choose, for starting stats, you choose one of these columns. And so whichever column you want to put in, some will weight higher on, like, say, awareness is second column here, if that's what you want. And then you just write your numbers in here. Your health bar, you're going to start at 10 and you're going to go all the way down to 1. Once you get into the 5 to 1 range, you're at -1 on everything you're trying to do. Here are your markers. You start at 10, you should spend them along the way, and then you'll come all the way down. Your XP is what XP you've gained. Your forward is what you use one of the other colored dice for. So if I wanted to show a -1 forward, then I would place this die, and I'm hoping that we're looking at the same thing here. We probably are. I put a #1 red in the forward. Now, let's say I get another negative forward. Then maybe I earn 2 negatives. Then you just make it a #2. So you're going to keep one set of the 3 die to mark off your forwards, whether they're positive or negative. So here is a grifter, same thing, that has their special moves. You're going to choose one move when you make your character. You're going to choose one from you're going to choose 2 from this here, and then you're going to choose your equipment. Usually one piece of equipment from each of the categories, and that fleshes out your character. Here is a sample adventure that comes in the quick start, and this is the one we were actually playing at the convention. And then Crime Runs Completely Wild in the Big Zoo. This is almost like a news announcement afterwards, and so on. So, I have to tell you, it was a lot of fun to play. It's a very, very simple system. Once you get past the dice mechanics, it was very quick to pick up, and even if you don't exactly know everything that's going on, at the time, especially when you first start playing it, it's so much fun. You're not really going to get all hung up on the various rules and everything, but which there isn't really a lot. It's just that dice mechanic that you just have to sort out in your head, and know what each die is. And if you have that little chart in front of you, you'll be able to kind of tell what's going to go on when you make those rolls. So so I want to thank Nerdarchy Ted for running a great game, and he, along with the rest of Nerdarchy, working on this game. I think it's a very good game. It's a lot of fun, and I'm certainly going to back it when it does hit Kickstarter. So I'll be looking for that. And if you hadn't had the opportunity to go check out their channel, certainly do so. Their channel is 50 times larger than mine. So they got a lot of people over there. I'm sure you've probably heard of them before. But yeah, definitely check out their stuff. Check out the things that they're doing over on their channel. And I have invited both to come on my channel when it's just around the time that their Kickstarter either just began or during the course of the Kickstarter, so that I can use my somewhat small audience to at least try to boost the game as well. When I back a Kickstarter, it's because I believe in it, and that's the kind of Kickstarters I like to bring to my channel. So you'll never see a Kickstarter on my channel that I didn't personally back myself. So big thumbs up on this thing, and all the best of luck to Nerdarchy with this next project of theirs. You'll have a great rest of your afternoon. I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen sometime soon, or at a convention. My next convention is not until June, so looking forward to that. But it's still quite a number of months away, and it's a game night tonight too. So Tuesday night, I'm back to running my game tonight. Hopefully, I can make it through the 3 hours talking without either losing my voice or having a coughing fit. So, but we should be ready to go tonight. Castles and Crusades, running a Goblin adventure from Trollord Games. So it should be a lot of fun. So anyway, have a great one. Take care.